Hey everyone! So I've been using the American Express Gold Card for over a year now, and I know a lot of you have been asking me whether it's actually worth the annual fee in 2025. Look, I'm going to be completely honest with you today. No sugarcoating, no sponsored nonsense. We're going to talk about the real benefits, the actual drawbacks, who should get this card, who should absolutely avoid it, and whether that $250 annual fee is justified in today's economy. I'll also break down the math on the rewards, show you exactly how I use this card, and give you some alternatives if this isn't the right fit for you. So grab a coffee, get comfortable, and let's dive into everything you need to know about the Amex Gold Card in 2025. What exactly is the Amex Gold Card? Alright, let's start with the basics. The American Express Gold Card is what we call a mid-tier rewards credit card. It's not their entry-level card, but it's also not their premium platinum card either. Think of it as the sweet spot for people who want serious rewards without paying those crazy high annual fees that some cards charge. The card has a $250 annual fee, which I know might sound steep if you're coming from no annual fee cards, but here's the thing, and this is important. You need to think of this fee as an investment, not just a cost. If you use the card strategically, you can easily get way more value back than what you pay. Now, this card is primarily designed for people who spend money on dining and groceries. If you're someone who rarely eats out and does minimal grocery shopping, this probably isn't the card for you. But if you're like most Americans who spend a decent chunk of their budget on food, then keep listening because this could save you hundreds of dollars a year. The reward structure. Let's break down the math. This is where the gold card really shines, and it's also where a lot of people get confused. So I'm going to make this super simple. You earn 4x points on dining at restaurants worldwide. That means for every dollar you spend at restaurants, you get 4 membership rewards points. You also get 4x points at US supermarkets, but there's a catch. It's capped at $25,000 in purchases per year. After that, you only earn 1x points. Now let me put this into perspective. If you spend $500 a month dining out, which is pretty average for many people, that's $6,000 a year. At 4x points, you're earning 24,000 points annually just from restaurants. If you're spending $400 a month on groceries, that's $4,800 a year, earning you another 19,200 points. So just from these two categories, you're looking at over 43,000 points per year. And here's the kicker. Membership rewards points are generally valued at about 2 cents each when transferred to airline partners. That means those points are worth roughly $860 in travel value. Already, you're way ahead of that $250 annual fee. You also get 3x points on flights booked directly with airlines or through Amex Travel. For everything else, you earn 1x points, which is pretty standard. The welcome bonus, is it actually good? As of 2025, the welcome bonus is typically 60,000 points after you spend $4,000 in the first 6 months. Now, I've seen some people complain that $4,000 is too much to spend, but let's be realistic here. That's about $667 per month. And if you're getting this card primarily for dining and groceries, you'll hit that spending requirement pretty naturally. Those 60,000 points are worth about $1,200 in travel value when transferred to partners. Even if you just cash them out at 1 cent each, which is the worst way to use them, that's still $600. Either way, the welcome bonus alone more than covers your first 2 years of annual fees. The credits, this is where it gets interesting. Now, this is where Amex tries to offset that annual fee, and honestly, they do a pretty good job of it. First, you get up to $120 in Uber Cash annually. That's $10 per month that you can use on Uber rides or Uber Eats. Now, I live in a city where I use Uber fairly regularly, so this credit is gold for me. But if you live in a rural area where Uber isn't really a thing, this credit is basically worthless to you. Then there's the $120 dining credit with Grubhub. Again, this is $10 per month. If you're someone who orders delivery food regularly, this is fantastic. If you never order delivery, it's useless. Here's my honest take on these credits. They're great if they align with your lifestyle, but don't change your spending habits just to use them. I see people ordering Uber Eats when they normally wouldn't just to use the credit, and that defeats the whole purpose. There's also an $84 annual credit for a digital entertainment subscription. This covers things like Disney Plus, Netflix, Spotify, and others. Most people are already paying for at least one of these services, so this credit is pretty easy to use. When you add up all these credits, $120 plus $120 plus $84 equals $324. You get access to Amex offers, which are targeted deals that can save you money at specific retailers. I've saved hundreds of dollars over the years through these offers, but they're not guaranteed and they vary from person to person. There's also purchase protection, extended warranty coverage, and trip delay insurance. These aren't unique to the Gold Card, but they're nice to have. One thing that's often overlooked is the customer service. Amex has genuinely excellent customer service. When I've had issues, whether it's a disputed charge or just a question about my account, they've always been helpful and resolved things quickly. The downsides. Let's keep it real now. Let's talk about what I don't like about this card, because no card is perfect. First, it's an Amex card, which means acceptance isn't universal. Most places take Amex these days, but you'll still occasionally run into a small business or restaurant that doesn't accept it. It's not a huge deal, but it's something to be aware of. Second, there's no welcome bonus on gas purchases, which is a missed opportunity opportunity. Gas is a major expense category for most people, and only earning 1 X points on gas feels weak compared to other cards that offer bonus categories for gas. Third, the grocery bonus has that $25,000 annual cap. For most people, this isn't an issue, but if you have a large family or do a lot of grocery shopping, you might hit that limit. The foreign transaction fees are another downside. If you travel internationally frequently, you'll want to use a different card for purchases abroad. Who should get this card? This card makes sense for you if you check most of these boxes. You spend at least $300, $400 per month on dining and groceries combined. If you're spending less than this, you probably won't earn enough points to justify the annual fee. You live in an area where you can actually use the Uber and Grubhub credits. If you're in a small town where these services aren't available, you're missing out on $240 in annual value. You're interested in travel rewards and willing to learn how to transfer points to airline partners. If you just want cash back, there are better options out there. You're organized enough to track your spending and maximize the bonus categories. This isn't a set it and forget it card. Who should avoid this card? On the flip side, this card isn't right for you if you rarely eat out or spend very little on groceries. The bonus categories won't benefit you much. You live somewhere with limited Uber or delivery options. You'll be leaving money on the table with the credits. You prefer simplicity and don't want to think about which card to use for different purchases. You're carrying debt on other cards. Focus on paying that off before worrying about rewards cards with annual fees. How I actually use this card. Let me share how I personally use this card because I think it helps to see a real example. I use the gold card for all my restaurant purchases and grocery shopping. That's it. I don't use it for gas, online shopping, or random purchases. I have other cards that are better for those categories. I set up autopay for my monthly subscriptions to trigger the digital entertainment credit automatically. I use Uber probably twice a month, and Uber Eats maybe once a month, so I easily use up that credit. For the Grubhub credit, I'm honest, I don't always use it every month. Some months I use the full $10, other months I don't order delivery at all. But over the course of the year, I probably use about 80% of it. I transfer my points to airline partners for flights. I've gotten some incredible value this way. Business class flights to Europe that would normally cost $3, 000 plus for way fewer points. Alternatives to consider if the gold card doesn't sound right for you, here are some alternatives. The Chase Sapphire Preferred is similar but with different bonus categories and transfer partners. It has a $95 annual fee and might be better if you spend more on travel than dining. If you want something simpler, the Citi Double Cash gives you 2% back on everything with no annual fee. It's not as lucrative as the gold card if you optimize it, but it's much easier to use. For people who spend a lot on gas, the Blue Cash Preferred from Amex gives you 6% back on groceries and 3% on gas, with a $95 annual fee. The bottom line, my honest opinion. After using this card for over a year, here's my bottom line. The Amex Gold card is a solid choice for the right person, but it's not universally great. If you naturally spend money in the bonus categories and can use most of the credits, it's actually a fantastic deal. The math works out strongly in your favor, and you'll come out way ahead of the annual fee. But if you have to force your spending into certain categories or you can't use the credits, then you're probably better off with a simpler cashback card or a different rewards card. The key is being honest with yourself about your SP.